There's a simple formula to grow your business to $1 million a month. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what that is, how you can use it effectively as a life insurance agent or agency owner, what we've seen, and best practices for it. My name's Trey. I'm the owner of Agent Lead Lab. In the past 3.5 years, we've helped 550 agents issue pay $40,000 per month. And on this YouTube channel, all I try to do is break down concepts, thoughts, behaviors, and patterns that we see from top producers and top agency owners. And today's going to be nothing less than that. As always, please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and let's hop right into the video. All right. So let me break this down about doing right by people. Now, I was on my way back from the gym today, and I was listening to a sermon. And in the sermon, the gentleman was referring to wealth. And essentially what he was saying is that most people chase money. But if you provide value to people, the money comes to you. Now, I feel like we all inherently know that. But biblically speaking, I think there is a shunning of trying to get and acquire money. But in reality, you should be thinking about building wealth because wealth is actually spiritual. And on top of that, when you do right by people, you're able to grow. And this is so relatable to my top clients who have large agencies who are pushing $1 million a month, $1 million plus a month, and are consistently winning. It's that they really want to do right by their people. The people that grow the fastest, they do right by their people. Now, for some people, they're like, okay, what does that mean, Trey? So doing right by their people to me, right, is making sure they have all the tools needed to succeed. Okay. Now you're probably like, where are all the tools? Okay. So obviously they have leads, they have sales training, they have mindset work, they have budgeting and managing money, which is essentially the same thing, right? They have, like a leaderboard or basically like a chart to climb and compete. These are all small things that, I think a lot of people are like, okay, cool. I just want to provide my team with leads. Like they should be fine. It's like, okay, do you train your agents? One of the things I've noticed is that we have a lot of people that come in and buy leads. They're in these big agencies that are like, oh, we're doing all these things. Then I come to find out, I'm like, dude, do you guys have any training? They're like, nah, we kind of do, and I'm like, okay. And then I go and find that agency has no training. They have no actual blueprint for an agent when they come in. It's just like, come in, figure it out. Now that's for most businesses, but it's unfortunate because all you do in life insurance really is that you buy leads and you sell. That's really it. Unless you're trying to build an agency, and then there's small parts, but even then it's like you buy leads, you sell, you recruit. That simple. It's not like a true business where you have to like source and you have to do fulfillment. You don't have to do any of that. You just have to buy leads, sell, and work. That's it. It's super simple. But this part is so left out. And this to me is the biggest determining factor of how fast you get to $1 million a month and or how well your agents do, how profitable they are. Like if you teach them how to sell properly, right, with value and actually solving people's issues rather than just pitching options, you will change the game for not only your self-patrol agency, you will make significantly more. I have tons of videos explaining that, but you'll make significantly more as an agent per sale. And on top of that, your agency will grow faster because you need less people to make more money, right? And then your agents are making more, so they're keeping more because you're teaching them how to actually close clients the right way rather than closing clients for whatever. The next thing is mindset work. Now, for me, this is the most important factor out of all of them because we could talk about you could have the best leads in the world. Great. You could be the best salesperson in the world, but you don't actually know how to handle when things don't go well. There's ups and downs, and you not knowing how to manage those ups and downs will really cause an issue as you continue to grow and as you continue to scale. And if you do get to that point, one of the biggest hurdles is you will run into trials, right? It could be trials financially. You could get a bunch of chargebacks because you're newer in the game, because maybe you didn't have the right sales training, but you bought a lot of leads. So now you have to work on your mind. You could be really good at sales, but not really that good at recruiting because you don't want to get and post on social media or, get in front of the camera. That's something in your mind. That's your mindset work. That's nothing to do with like, you can physically grab a camera, right? And you're not emotionally like, oh my goodness, like I start shaking. It's like you just mentally in your mind, you're like, you haven't shaped your viewpoint of what that means yet. And that's just your mind. As you be exposed to things and that's your mind. You don't view the way it's like there's tons of people that are really good at sales and good at buying leads, but don't work on their mind. And there's a lot of people that work on their mind but don't do sales, and they're not really good at leads. So you have to do it. But if you're in this realm, if you can work on your mindset, it will overcome everything, because your mindset will say, even if I have the worst leads, I'm still going to make a sale. Even if my sales training is really good or really bad, but I have great leads, like I'm going to keep buying until I can figure it out. That's just your mindset. Just because you have the sales training, or you create the sales training for your agents, but you don't give them the mindset work. Now, this is the easiest way to look at it. These are really, I would say these are the 3 core, right? So if we broke this down, let's say these are the, go here. So these are the 3 core. And then from there, you have your like 2 miscellaneous. So 2 miss, okay? Boom, okay? And the way that I'm looking at this is this. So these are 3 core things that you will need when you're doing right by people to help them grow. Number 1 is going to be leads. We already went through that. Number 2 is going to be the sales training, okay? And then there's combos. So I just want everybody to be aware of how this works. And sorry if these aren't like the best, but you guys get the point. Okay, so you need, if you have to have at least one. Have to have at least one. Best is all 3. Okay, so if you have great leads, just impeccable leads, right? It'll be hard. This is the hardest one to have. If you have really, really good leads, but you don't have the proper mindset and you don't have good sales training, you're probably going to fail, right? More than likely going to fail if this is only one. Reason being is because if you don't have the right mindset and you can't actually close, they're not going to make money. So you have great leads. So honestly, you can have this, but you have to have at least one, right? This will probably make you fail. Sales training is the one that it's probably the second. You'll need and can get away, but will fail without third, right? And the one that you have to have is what I was saying. You have to have at least one of these, but best is all 3 is you have to have, and I shouldn't even say at least, because really this goes back to what I was saying, just like mandatory. So if you're instilling something into your team, if you have horrible leads and really bad training, but you have the proper mindset, right? You can still get somewhere, because I could give you horrible leads and you don't know what you're doing. But if you just keep working over and over and over again, you'll eventually stumble and make something happen. The great thing is that this ties in with this. This is separate. This is a la carte, which is why I don't harp on leads if you're trying to build an agency as much as I sell leads and I have a lead company, because in reality, it doesn't really matter the leads. It's about how you train your team to work them. It is an important factor, but it's not the most important factor. The most important factor is the mindset. The second most important factor is the sales. The third most important factor is the leads. If you just get your mindset and the sales right, you will be okay. But in order to really push and not have any barriers, you need to have quality leads. You need to have the right mindset, amazing sales training, and quality leads. It's that simple. Now, there's 2 miscellaneous things that will keep your agent successful. Right? Now, I say miscellaneous because, once again, theoretically, people can already have these as good. They can naturally be competitive, right? So this could be like naturally competitive. You want to have a competitive environment, right? And then they're good with money. That's why these are miscellaneous, because these factors, you can come in with the right mindset, you'll be fine, which is why if you hire the right people, which is what I'm going to go to next, then you'll be good. If you don't have the right training, but getting into an environment, you have to have the right training, and then you have to have leads that coexist. You could just be in any field and be really good with money, but you also need to teach agents who aren't good. So that's a skill that you could have before you got into the industry. So is mindset. If you're competitive, then that's another, like you're just naturally competitive, you're good. This is why so many people want to recruit athletes or really just athletes for a lot of jobs, because especially in the life insurance space too, is unfortunately the money thing, not the money thing, but from a competitive standpoint. Sorry guys, I'm all over the place. A bunch of little updates are coming to my phone and I'm trying to get a few things situated, so I apologize. But anyways, that's why I'm trying to emphasize that you have to create these environments, right? These are all tools and environments that you can create. You can create a good sales training environment. You can buy leads. You can work on your mindset. You can teach people how to manage their money, and you can give people a leaderboard. You're trying to create people that are competitive. You want people to keep the money and not have chargebacks. You want them to have the right mindset. You want them to have proper training to learn how to close clients, and then they have to have good leads. In my opinion, the most important thing is the mindset. Then from there, you need to have sales training, right? And then from there, you need to have leads. These are miscellaneous because if I have your great mind, right, and you can handle adversity, and you have really good training, and you have good leads, even if you're really bad with money, you won't make a lot of money. You'll make less money because you don't know how to manage it, but you'll still make money if you have the right mindset and you understand how to close right and you're buying good leads. And then if you're competitive, which kind of ties into the mindset, but it's a miscellaneous thing because if you don't have a leadership, you can't create the competitive environment. They have to innately have it. This creates it. This is something you have. This is something you create. If you like, people are motivated in different ways. This is more internal motivation. This is more external motivation. They're not the same, right? So if I was writing something here, like this is internal motivation, right? And this one is going to be external motivation. And they need to have these. So these are all the tools that you need to do, okay? And if you do right by them, you create these things. You create environments for each of these. If you don't, then essentially what you're saying is you're going to come in and I want you to figure out all this on your own. You need to know where to go get your leads. You need to learn how to train yourself. You need to have the proper mindset about what and how to work in this industry. You need to be really good with money, and you have to become competitive. It's like, okay, you're not helping me. So most people aren't willing to do the work to create these things. If you create these things, you put yourself in a much better situation. Let's talk about the second piece. This is the law of consistency. That's what I call it, but it's just being consistent, right? So there's a consistency in a few things. Consistency in buying leads. So I'm X person. I decide, hey, I'm going to buy this many leads every week. That's super important because in order to really grow in business, my mentor tells me this all the time, you can't be emotional. You have to remove emotion. You have to look at things logically, and you have to just look at numbers because emotion is very fleeting. And emotion says, well, I didn't make a sale this week, so I'm not going to buy leads. That's not logical though. You need leads to make money, right? It's like, yes, okay, then you need to buy leads. You need to work on your sales skill because if you bought 100 leads this week and didn't close, you bought 100 leads next week and didn't close, is it the leads or is it you? Right? So being consistent in buying leads, the type of leads, how frequently you buy them, right? So it's like type of leads. You got frequency of buying leads. You've got quantity of buying leads. And then you've got quality of buying leads. Cool. For you all that don't know, type of leads, you have demographic leads, right? Which is basically how I explain final expense, mortgage, vet, etc. Right? You have frequency of buying leads. Okay, so you buy them 1 time a week. You got 2 times a week. You got 3 times a week. Most people don't buy leads more than 3 times a week. Okay, you have quantity of leads. You got 100 leads. You got 200 leads. You got 50 leads. Okay, and then you have quality of buying, the type of leads. So then you have like high intent. You've got transfers. You got form leads. You got data leads. You got age leads. You got all these different type of leads, right? So when you break this down, you have to be consistent. Like, okay, what type of leads am I going to buy? How frequently am I going to buy them? How many of them am I going to buy? And what's the quality of the ones? You figure that out. You input that in. You figure out what your numbers are, and you scale that way. Then you just adjust and keep moving. You adjust and keep moving. And you just constantly make a difference. Next thing, sales. Now, I feel like sales is one of those things that most people don't think about in a consistency realm because it's like, oh, I'm just doing the same thing over and over. No. It's different type of things. So it's like intro / pre-frame. So are you doing trainings on this? And when I say sales, I mean training and reps. Okay, next one's going to be presentation style. Okay, same thing, training and reps. Pitching style. Okay, training and reps. To me, presentation style, this is like the value building stage. So you're asking questions, asking why, right? Pitching style, training sense, like creating problems and assessing which carriers. Okay. Then you also have closing style, right? Training reps, attaching numerical values to those face amounts, right? And that's like super simple. Then you got leadership. Leadership is one of those things where what you do is you actually just focus on, okay, this is my specific leadership style. Here's what I want to do. I want to lead in this way. So I'm going to lead with doing like live events. I'm going to have an office. I'm going to have an office. My bad. Office. You can do what's called lock-ins. You can, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, these are kind of the primary ones. Virtual Zoom rooms. It's like consistency, right? You've got private groups. Because what you're doing is, for my math, what you're doing essentially is with these events and office and the lock-ins and the virtual Zoom rooms, you are creating an environment, right? And there's consistency in the environment. Hey, we do this at this time. This is how we work. That's a form of leadership. This is what we do. This is how we do it. This is how frequently we do it. Cool. You're going to show up or you're not, right? That is super important. That's another aspect of the law of consistency. Now, the next one is cause and effect. Now, this is kind of the root of what the sermon was, is that you doing right by people and giving your agents and your downlines and your clients even doing the right thing will bear way more fruit. Perfect example of a client is, let's say you have a client and the client's like, yeah, I don't have this much, blah, blah, blah. And you're just like super pushy. Well, it's like, okay, well, if you're pushy, then you have two options. It's like you're going to close them. And they're going to charge back, or you're going to close them and they'll be your favorite client ever because you actually put them in the right spot. Now, finding value and attaching it and understanding their problem is what goes back to the sales training and you having the consistency in that. You just practice those reps over and over again and you'll get better. But you doing it and then closing the client and then getting more business is the cause and effect of you actually caring about the person. People inherently feel that you care about them, regardless of if we say they do or they don't. They do. People know, they're like, oh yeah, cool. This person actually cares about what happens for me or to me in regards to this event. So for them, it's like, oh, he wants me to get signed up with life insurance. I'll probably refer him to somebody else. Well, the same thing happens with your agents. Like if they know you're pouring into them and you're giving them everything that you have, they'll rock with you forever. They'll say, hey, we know that this is going to be exactly what you say it is, because we trust that your word is bond. Like you've proved it over and over again that you're going to help us out. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. And that to me is like, okay, if you're somebody who sees and understands value, you'll just say, all right, I want to buy into this team. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to go tell another agent who tells another agent, and now you're going to start scaling. Now you're going to start growing. And a lot of times, you can never get to that point because a lot of people are just like, man, that's too much work. And it's like, dude, you told these people you're going to take care of them. It'd be like me telling my clients, like, you know what, man, you're paying me a lot of money, but you just kind of got to figure it out. Like you told them you're going to take care of them, so then you have to do that. And that's the cause and the effect. Now the effect is now like, all right, cool, I'm leaving. They'll leave the agency, they'll go do something else, whatever it may be. So it's very, very important for us to clearly understand how each thing affects the next. And you knowing that if you do not put these things in place, somebody will, means that you have the likelihood of your agency leaving. Sorry, a part of your agency leaving, a leg or whatever, going somewhere else or not wanting to work with you. I see it all the time. I work with people where they don't have a great environment, but they've taught them really like one or two of these skills, right? And then they went out and found their own thing, and then they don't rob with people, and then they do. Is it possible to do all of them? Yes. Is it hard? Yes, that's the difference though. Most people are just lazy. And if because you're lazy, you won't do the things that you need to do. So I hope this video helps. Kind of a shorter one on this Friday. We got a lot of work we got to do today. So I appreciate everybody. Please make sure that you guys like, comment, subscribe. If you're an individual agent you're looking for high intent leads, please go to leadlabcrm.com. Let me just pop over to the website real quick. We are constantly adding and creating new things. We are constantly growing and pushing ourselves. This is currently where we're at. We got instant leads. We've got landing page leads. We kind of got the whole gambit. So if you're interested in working with us and seeing what that looks like from a leads perspective, please do that. If you're an individual, if you're an agency owner and you actually do want to potentially partner up with us, our package called the Apex package. You have to have a minimum of $5,000 to even like get your foot in the door. So if you do not have that, please don't book a call. But if you do, please go to book a call. Go ahead and click this Apex strategy. We are going to go through this. This is not going to be one of those things where we waste your time. I'm just going to be super honest. We're looking for people that are serious and not curious. We're looking for people that are action takers. And if that's something that you want to be a part of, I'm all for it. If it's not, that's fine. But once again, if you don't have 5,000, just don't waste your time, at least because it's not even going to get you in the door. And the prerequisites for that, that's just super honest, is you should have 3 to 4 agents doing 20, 30K. Be an agency owner that's pushing 200, 250,000 a month minimally, and be willing to invest 5K. Like if you have those 3 things, I think you'll be good enough to hop on a call, and we would love to go through. And I say that in no disrespectful way. It's just a matter of like, it's not going to financially make sense for you if you don't have those prerequisites. Because at the end of the day, if you make less than that, or you have agents doing less than that, the way our Apex is set up, we're basically doing this but creating it custom for your agency. And it's very efficient, but you just have to be financially in a really, really good spot to be able to invest in the capital that you need to actually push this thing the right way, and also pay for our time and services. So as always, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We are looking for people to partner up with. But if not, no worries at all. Hope you guys keep watching these videos. Comment down below, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.